This is Run Diaries number 2, and it's coming a little later in the day than I would have liked to think, but 12:20. I'm gonna keep this one really short, and I'm gonna start just again by saying what this is, and I'm trying to teach myself as I'm starting this thing. Um, I guess, well, just like my open mic night and mic club and different things that I'm doing, I sort of figure out what they are as I go along, and so I think that's gonna be the same with this, but at least conceptually, what I'm thinking about this is, and I said this in the last one, which you can find on YouTube. I didn't have the streaming set up properly, so that my intention with these is that it goes out to Facebook, just my personal Facebook, and then it also goes out to my YouTube. And the reason being, recently I went through on Facebook and I did an exodus, uh, just like a spring cleaning kind of thing. I realized, in partly my own fault, there was a time where I just added a bunch of people that I don't really know who they were. And then I've also had a whole bunch of people add me that I don't know who they are. And then, I'm, um, I realized I want to distinguish sort of my music pages from my personal pages, and that I do want to have through like my personal Facebook, or, it's kind of like my email or something. I want to know the people that are on there. And then I also, from the standpoint of doing something like this, where I'm speaking and I'm going live, I think it's very tricky mentally. I don't know. I've found it to be anyway, to think about what you're saying when you could be literally speaking to anyone. You don't even really know who you're speaking to, and so, um, you could be speaking to somebody that loves what you're saying just as much as somebody that hates what you're saying, and you could be speaking to somebody that wants to understand you or tries to understand what you're saying just as much as somebody that wants to misunderstand you, and then um, take that and run with it. And so I don't know. It's just, and then trying to think about who all could be listening to it and how to construct the message so that it's most effective at being understood, is, I don't know, kind of overwhelming. So I realized I want to do something. I want to focus more on just talking to the people that actually want to understand me, or actually, like me, or care about me. And and then also, yeah, I just wanted to have more, focus my relationships, I guess, more onto, um, you know, I guess, simplify. I don't know. I wanted to simplify, and uh, so I don't know. We'll see what this is. But I went through and basically anybody that I wasn't sure who they were, or like didn't have a good concept of who they were in my Facebook, personal Facebook, I deleted that. Um, and so I left. There are some people I know that are still on there, that are on here on my Facebook, that I've never met. But most of those people, or I think all of them, are musicians that I've watched your stuff. I've watched your videos, or I've your posts and stuff, and so I feel like I have a pretty good understanding of who you are. And so there are other local musicians that even if I haven't met you, I kind of know who you are. So anyway, I'm prefacing with that for the second one. I said that in the last one too, but I figured I should say it again, especially since the first one didn't actually even go out to my personal Facebook page. But that's what I want this to be. So, I just want to focus my energy and my time more with just, and not worry so much about the people that uh, aren't gonna be supportive or constructive. That's really more what it is about. It's about, yeah, I guess, supportive and constructive. So, um, basically, what the Run Diaries is going to be is, recently I signed up for a marathon. Shout out to Dan Riley. I saw that he was going to be running a marathon, and he's done one or two or some in the past, and I was like, okay, I've never done that. I don't know. It just inspired me to want to do it, and so Um, I've always hated running. uh, I have to play basketball or some kind of sport where you chase a ball and there's competition to get me to get motivated to just run. If I try to just run, it gets really boring and strenuous, and I don't like it, right? So I thought, okay, that's exactly the reason I should do it. And so I took a challenge myself, and I'm really glad that I did. Now, I haven't trained as much as I should, and this marathon that's coming up on December 10th is going to be is not going to be easy. Uh, so there's that, but I'm still really glad that I did it because it has Um, I'm now waking up much earlier in the day. I feel like I have more energy. Um, I have more discipline. I think, and I think it's sort of spurred a lot of positive changes for myself. And also running it's kind of like when I mow the lawn. Whenever I mow the lawn, I always feel like I have better ideas. My thinking is better, and I think that has a lot to do with you get your blood flowing, you get pumping more oxygen into your body, or whatever it is physiologically. You become more lucid. That's the way I feel, and I think better. And so I noticed whenever I'm running, I have a lot of different thoughts that come to me. That's my life. I'm a musician, I guess, but um, I feel like most of my life is just thinking. um, that's what I've liked the most about life is just trying to figure things out and sort of puzzle solving and thinking always. So um and and okay, I'll go stream of conscious a little bit here. So I don't know how things are going to continue to unfold. I've been doing music now for maybe about 7 or 8 years. It's been a passion. It's been something that I've really pushed myself to be able to do and to accomplish where I am today. But I also don't always feel like that's really my biggest passion or necessarily what I always want to do. Sometimes it's a job. To me it feels like a job. These like there's stuff I love about it. It can be really fun, but it's also often very much a job. So um, and then always like people tell me that like I'll say I want to start talking about politics, or I want to start talking about issues, or because I see these things and I have all these different ideas and I want to express them, and then people will tell me, oh, you shouldn't do that because you're you're gonna make your career harder. It's gonna make things harder for your career, and and that's probably true. But then also I think like, well, I'll say this and then I'll move on to the actual talking points that I put down. That's a bad label for them, just because of the connotations of talking points. But uh, my grandpa was a pastor, and um, I didn't know him really well at all. But um, you know, I was just thinking like I don't really want to be a pastor. I've never really liked pastors that much. No offense to pastors. I respect pastors, but I in my own personal experience, I never feel like most of them are that genuine. Like I just don't get the sense. Like I was talking to this guy on Thanksgiving actually, and uh, well, what do I say? I just think, and this is going a whole different direction than I want to, but I'll put it simple, then I'll get to my points. I don't think anybody knows the answers to like anything. So, um, in particular, okay, that's an exaggeration. Obviously, some people we all develop the ability to know answers to small things, but for the big things, like what a lot of people, like is God real, and what's the correct belief system or religion or whatever thing like this. I don't think anybody knows, and everybody's just guessing, and a lot of pastors at least speak as if they know when I don't know that's really what they feel inside. And I think it's not. I don't personally think in my experience when I've seen many people that I feel are doing this, that I still really respect why. It's like they're trying to be leaders and they're trying to do something that they believe in, or that they're trying to be a good person in the world. And so I think sometimes it can come from a place of great sincere motivation and sort of a desire for a noble purpose or good purpose, but um, then you can get caught up in that. When you're the leader, you're supposed to lead and you're supposed to be the leader, and even if you don't feel it, you're still supposed to lead. And so sometimes I think that can be problematic. But all right, I should have run more, to be honest. I was supposed to run 5 miles today, and I ran about 2.5. Got to get this thing jogged, you know. Here's some Huendwen. This is the other aspect of what I'm trying to do is good diet. And so I made this decision that I think is is going to be really healthy and helpful, and maybe can relate to some people out there. I would play many times when I get overwhelmed by things in life, when I get overwhelmed by the amount of things that I need to do or figure out or find solutions for, or just be disciplined about, then I would play video games, because then I don't have to think about anything. The video game just completely absorbs your mind. It's competitive. It's fun. It's like intense, and so you can just be gone. It's an escape, right? It's a form of escape, and I loved that, because then all my problems are gone. I don't have to think about them; they're gone. And so, but what I realized is, I mean, obviously that doesn't really do at the end of the video game. While I might have really enjoyed it for that hour or for those 2 hours or whatever it was, I'm no better off than I was before I started it. And so, and then all the things that I needed to get done are still there. And so, what I decided to push myself to do is to trade the video game for cooking. And that instead of making, quick, easy meals, to actually take the time to make some good, healthy, filling, thoughtful meals that are designed really to nourish and give my body what it needs. And so trade the video game for that. And so if I have the time to play these video games, let's just get rid of those. Then now I have time to do this, because the cooking is something that I never really like to do, because it takes a lot of time and it just doesn't seem worth it, right? Or it's like I could just as easily eat a pizza and then go play a video game, or I could eat some cereal or make a sandwich or something. So yeah, that's something I'm doing that goes along with the exercise. And I hope that's just something I can showcase over the next, however long, over the next months, maybe years, is taking care of your health in a variety of ways, and seeing the impact that actually has on your state of being, maybe on your mental health, on your physical health. And so this is Huendwen. This is something my wife taught me how to make. You can get some from the Chinese grocery store, or there's H&L Asian grocery store in North Charleston. And basically I put some carrots in there, which usually isn't in there, but it's got a little bit of egg, some carrots, green onion, cilantro, little shrimps, tiny little shrimps, and some soy sauce, vinegar, chili oil or chili powder, and white pepper. I think that's everything that's in it. The last thing. All right, now I'll get to these talking points. So, yeah, maybe I can rebrand the term talking points, because talking points in and of themselves aren't a bad thing. But when you think of when I hear the term talking points now, I just think like things that people have to say, so they sound like they know what they're talking about, so that they can push an agenda, right? But I guess that's what it is. But whenever it thinks of agenda, or when I think of agenda now, I guess I always think like somebody's up to, they're trying to manipulate, they're trying to control things. All right, but I guess you can have a good agenda. Um, so I'll talk about social overload, and this will go right into uh, the same kind of thing, talking about exercise and nutrition. Um, it's I'll use the term mental diet. What you put in your diet of information. And I was just thinking. So I wrote down social overload. When I was out for a run, I was just thinking about, many times. I don't know about you guys, but I would consider myself an introvert. And in fact, I don't know if people have noticed this about me, but many times, you know, I'm a performer, and I've heard that there are other performers that are this way. So I don't. This is not. I don't know that this is anything really new, but I'm a performer, and I would definitely consider myself as an introvert. At least that's the way I would think of myself, as an introvert. And um, when I perform, when I'm out performing, it's funny. Like I used to get nervous and whatnot, and sometimes I do a little bit. But I actually often feel way more comfortable on stage than I do just mingling and talking with people. From the stage, I feel totally comfortable. I can express myself. I can hear how everyone else is doing, and I genuinely feel like I have a relationship with audience. I can feel. I watch everything. I listen to everything, and I try to change and shift what I do to respond to what's going on around. But it doesn't. It's like a little bit of a more distant form of communication, rather than that direct bam, so intense, like every little detail just smack in the face and immediate responses, and it's just intense to me and intimidating. Or whereas I can have this looser relationship with everybody from a distance, and I still feel like I can kind of get to know everybody, and but I don't feel so much pressure. If I just kind of want to retreat into my own space and be in my own space, I can do that too. So it's funny, like many people think people on the stage are going to be extroverts, some of the most socially expressive people, but I very much uh, I don't feel that way, and um, oftentimes even from just doing an event, I'll become really socially overloaded. I'll just become I want to go seek out my own space and be by myself. Even when I get home and I'm with my wife, I'll still feel like I just want to be by myself sometimes. It's like I've had too many voices, too much noise. I just want to be in my own voice, my own space, by myself, right? So I was thinking about this more, and I thought maybe one of the reasons for this, and I don't know if this is something that other people are experiencing, but one of the reasons for this may be that YouTube and social media and all this stuff, like it's so easy to pull up Instagram and scroll through some stories or um, what do they call reels, and then all of a sudden, and especially with the reels, you've had like you'll have like 20 social interactions in about like 6 minutes or something, or less than that. And I think I wasn't conceptualizing it like this. I wasn't thinking about it like this because they're videos. They're not real people. But I don't know that we really can process it exactly that way, because they are they're representations of real people expressing real things. And when we're exposed to it, we become aware of this person, and it's going to take up mental space. It takes up time, it takes up energy, it takes up mental space. You're becoming aware of who this person is, trying to understand them, how they communicate, all this. And I was just thinking, like, all that time and energy that gets spent, and that mental capacity that gets used for people that we're never going to meet, or that really aren't part of our actual lives. I mean, think about how much mental energy and mental space and time get spent that way. And if you, I mean, it wasn't that long ago that this wasn't the case, and your social interactions would happen when you actually go out, and if you, um, you wouldn't have millions of potential or billions of potential social interactions at the tip of your fingers, a second away, anytime you want it. And so I just think maybe um, that's something that gets underestimated, and that introversion these days may be exacerbated by um, the overwhelming exposure to social experience or social input. Um, so I was thinking that I may, take a break, as people do. But more than that, basically, I'm not gonna watch TV shows. I'm not gonna watch YouTube videos. I'm not gonna watch Facebook live streams. So if you, this is the other, like, if you get the message of what I'm saying, then you're probably never gonna watch my live stream again, which is fine. You know, I don't know, defeats the purpose. But I don't know if that happens where the live stream. People, I don't know. I'll let you guys make that decision. But I just think I don't think I'm going to do that much unless it's something that it makes actual sense to do that. So um, I think that's where I want to restructure what's going on. So I don't have all this stuff that is entertaining and fun, but it's another form of escape. It doesn't have anything to do with my actual life, the people that I actually live with and live around. And so um, I want to save my mental space and my energy and my time for the real people that are in my life. So that's maybe a third, as I can see, at least as I can see it right now. That's a third component of health, is the way I'm thinking about it. And so taking care of my body through physical exercise and diet, nutrition, and then also information diet for my mind. And I think I'm gonna find when and that's also nixing video games. I think is a part of that too. Video games is social stimulus. You're interacting with other people. If it's a social game, it's a lot of social input, and a lot of times it can be very toxic. Social input, So I think getting rid of all that is going to be a really good thing. So I'm going to leave it there. I'm not going to go beyond that. This will be Run Diaries number 2. I'm just going to do these, when I go for a run. I've got an exercise regimen. If there's, I just want to say this. I encourage anybody out there to get started exercising and work on your diet. And just think about or do it and see how much of a difference it makes for you. Just trade whatever that thing is that you do to escape. Trade that for taking care of yourself. Doing something that actually at least to some extent is taking care of yourself. Whether or not that it is going to make some huge difference or a small difference, just try it and take the time to see what difference it actually makes. And I think you're going to find that it actually makes a difference that you start to really be happy about. But yeah, I guess I'll leave it there. There was something else there, but the good news is there's always another day, and the next time I run, maybe it'll come to me. So I'll leave it there. Hope you guys have a good day. Thanks for tuning in, and peace out. Oh, no, the last thing I got to say is E-Open Mic is tonight. So I'm going to be back on a little bit later tonight, 7 to 9 p.m., although there are some, I mean, look here if I've got any messages here. Nothing right now. I had scheduled to come on for Open Mic was Rob Eunick and also Corey Shelton and also Pernell McDaniel. And then online through Skype, Nathan Douglas and Brandon Thompson. So Brandon Thompson and Nathan Douglas will be joining through Skype, but Pernell, I just got word this morning he got in a car accident yesterday, and he may or may not be able to make it. And also Corey Shelton is going through a health issue, and he's in the hospital right now. So prayers to Corey, and keep Corey in your thoughts. Hopefully he gets to feeling better and he can make it. Pernell, either one of them may or may not make it. So it may end up just being me and Rob today in the studio for Open Mic, and Nathan and Brandon joining through Skype. And if that's the case, that's all good. Rob was thinking about doing some recording here, so it's a chance for him to see the studio and maybe he can share a few more songs. And but yeah, that's tonight. So hope you guys can catch that. And yeah, that's it. Have a good day, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.